Cricket Centre Stage, Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan. Another most eventful day of Test cricket. England closed at 200 for 5, 3 late wickets for Australia, breaking up an excellent stand between the captain Joe Root and the opener Rory Burns, who continues to enhance his reputation through this series. But they're still 98 runs behind the follow-on, Michael. They've still got plenty of work to do.
Yeah, the reason I love Test cricket is because of days like this. You know, it had everything. You know, there wasn't the ball flying to all parts, there wasn't the drama of Ben Stokes at Headingley, but I think every single person in this crowd realised there was something special. And that Pat Cummins spell in the afternoon, that was as good as I've seen Test match cricket. And we've seen some wonderful moments over the course of the last few weeks, the Jofra spell at Lords, but Cummins just decided, he thought he'd just crank it up, the pace is up, just started to get a bit of seam movement, the lines, the channels, the bounce are well directed. And also, you look at Rory Burns. I love players that realise in Test match cricket you've got to adapt, you've got to realise yourself when there's a problem, go away and work on it yourself. You don't need a coach to tell you, you don't need many in the media to tell you. Rory Burns in between Headingley and here, I'm sure he had the celebration after that terrific win. I reckon the next morning, the Monday morning at Headingley, he woke up and thought, you know what, I've had a bit of a problem in here against the short stuff. What do I need to do? I've got to get in the nets, I've got to get someone with that dog throw, I've got to get someone on the machine peppering me. And what did he do here? He brought the sway, keeping his arms down. I love seeing players do that. The reason why Test cricket is so hard is because you can get found out. But you know what, when you get found out, you can also respond and do something different. Twice now this summer, Rory Burns, you look at the Ireland Test where he struggled.
Yep.
All of a sudden he came at Edgbaston, we saw him get his hands tight and go, he's worked on something, saw it straight away, loved it. Same again here, he's got a career in Test cricket purely because he's got a bit of that inner belief and also that resilience and that kind of mentality that he's desperate to stay at this level. He knows he has to change things. So, loved today, I have to say. Bowling, batting, loved it.
He didn't get to 100, Burns, but 81 almost guarantees he'll get those winter tours, which is so important for England cricketers. Put on 141 with Joe Root, who both of them fell to Josh Hazelwood, who came on after Patrick Cummins. And sometimes Test cricket is so much about bowling in partnerships, isn't it?
Well, it is, and again, this is why I love Test cricket. You don't get that in 50-over cricket. You certainly don't get it in T20 cricket, where a bowler works for 10 overs. He bowls incredible pace, incredible skill. He's working over 2 batsmen that are set, that are in, that are working their team back into the Test match. And all of a sudden, Josh Hazelwood comes on. He bowls equally as good. You know, he gets the ball to shape away, out Rory Burns, and he gets that ball back to Joe Root. Done him a few times like that. That ball that's just kind of angled to force them and then whips it back. Magnificent bowling. Pat Cummins must be in that dressing room. Going to Josh, any chance? They call start the mop, don't they? Mopped up the tails while Hazelwood mopped up Cummins' spell. It was absolutely why we love Test cricket, that sometimes a bowler puts the effort in, he puts all the yards in, and it's his mate who comes on and takes all the wickets.
How do you feel if you're Jason Roy, sitting back in the sheds tonight, out for 22, bowled through the gate, an excellent piece of bowling, but another low score, the pressure is building?
Now, Adam, it's dead obvious with Jason. If he wants to play Test match cricket, he's got to find a forward defence. You know, even when you look and analyse some of his deliveries that he'd played, you know, that were straight, on a good length, he's still pushing at the ball. So his defensive strokes are still going to mid-on and mid-off. You know, you look at a Rory Burns, I know he's a different style of play, but for Jason to survive at Test level, he's got to work the art of playing the forward defence, you know, and let the ball drop by his feet. You've got to have soft hands. You can't keep throwing your hands to bowlers like Hazelwood, Cummins, Stark. They're too good. Because all they'll do is they'll keep channeling, they'll throw it up there, mid-on and mid-off come straight. He knows he's going to push his hands at the ball. There only needs to be an ounce of movement, and all of a sudden the gate, wide open, middle stump out the ground. He looked nice today, he played some good shot. That back foot punched the ball before, I thought, oh, I like that. And then all of a sudden, full of length. If you can't play the forward defence at Test match cricket, you ain't going to last long. Ultimately, he's got to work that out himself, because he's got to go away. You know, he'll have a second innings, he might not get next week, who knows what they'll do, but his second innings becomes so important because he needs runs, and he needs to prove to everyone that he can defend good balls. You can't just come out here and attack all the time.
As good as Cummins and Hazelwood were with the ball for Australia, England's most productive phase of the day was when Mitchell Starc was on in that second spell that he bowled today. The first one was okay until he perhaps went a bit too full towards the end, but that middle spell when he went for 22 runs in 2 overs, it seemed to bring the crowd into play as well. And look, he didn't get a bowl at all in the final session. It went for 2 hours and 8 minutes and Starc wasn't called upon at all.
No, I mean, I think what you get with Mitchell Starc is that, you know, you get spells in the Test match where the opposition go, wait a minute, we're scoring opportunities here. Australia's plans throughout this series has been to be attritional and bowl dots and try and bowl maidens. what Stark brings is a little bit of a difference. I'm still sure that Stark will mop up the tail. You can't tell me that Archer, Stuart Broad, Jack Leach are going to fancy facing Mitchell Stark. He might not be required, but you look at Mitchell Stark, when you pick him in a test match, the new ball, he gets it swinging around, he can knock over a couple. His record against the top order is okay, but his record against the tail is incredible. He will certainly have a say over the course of the next 2 days, because there's no tail-ender going to want to face Mitchell Stark. And also, you look at someone like Ben Stokes, if he can get the ball tailing, that front pad might be challenged. I think Australia have got the perfect attack for this kind of wicket. Nathan Lyon, he's starting to find a bit of form. I didn't think he bowled great today. I'm sure he'll be the first to admit he didn't quite get his length, didn't quite get his paces. He just started to bowl nicely just before Joe Root was out, then Jason Roy, and then he started to bowl well to Ben Stokes. Again, he will have a say over the course of the next 2 days because of the nature of the surface.
Let's put your captaincy hat on from an Australian perspective. They need to get rid of the last 5 English wickets in the space of 98 runs to enforce the follow-on, but 2 days to go. Bad lights means we won't get the full 2 days. It's unlikely we'll get the full complement of overs. So how do you game it if you're Tim Payne?
The modern way is whatever happens, they bat again. If Australia blow England away in the morning quickly, I'd bowl again. Just win the test match. Yeah. There's plenty out there for the seamers. There's plenty out there for the spinners. Don't even run the risk that light may play a part. By the way, we're up north. It's pretty grim. All the southerners keep telling me it's grim. Well, I'm telling you now, over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours, all those southerners give, it's grim up north. We need it to be grim up north for a day or so to give England any kind of chance. I don't think Australia can blow this opportunity.
Yeah.
They're in such a strong position. What happened at Headingley, they can't blow this. They can't allow England to get away from this position. England, they're dipping into the Ben Stokes well again. They're dipping into the superheroes well. Can he keep producing another amazing innings? He did it in the World Cup final. He did it at Lords. He's done it at Headingley. Can he do it again here at Old Trafford? Well, England are asking him to do so. Well,
he is a canny lad, as I say, in his part of England. So we will see. It is grim here, but the cricket's fantastic. Adam Collins, Michael Vaughan. Don't miss a moment on Cricket Buzz Centre Stage. Talk tomorrow.